Hello, welcome back to Vanova Collects. Today's video we're going to be going over how I sort and sift bulk. So that's how when I get bulk in, how I'm organising it, how I'm sifting it, pulling out my value, organising it for the next person, and basically that whole process of when I get a collection in, whether it's bulk or new stuff, whatever it is, the process of how it gets organised before it gets to the listing stage. I'm going to do a separate video on how I list everything because again that's a lot of different steps and products and things, so it's just best. So this is basically just like the first step of my process and what I do when I get stock in, when I get bulk in, how I organise it and how I sort it all out and sift out my value. But before we get into it, if you are interested, please do drop a like and subscribe on the channel. The behind the scenes of my TCG business, which is predominantly Pokemon and predominantly eBay. I do also vend, and you can follow me on TikTok as well for daily sales update to see the sort of stuff that I sell on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, let's get straight into everything, and you can see the full process of how I organise things. Okay, so this is kind of how it goes. I tend to have 6 piles if I'm doing English and Japanese. They should all be English, so it don't really matter. So I'll have a pile for non-hollows, a pile for trainers, a pile for reverse hollows, and a pile for hollows. And then I will just pull out what I'm going to use. I don't sort what I'm using yet because I'll condition sort it and sort it based on other things later on, which I'll show you. But so let's get the first stuff here. So basically, like here with like Sword and Shield, I'm looking for popular Pokemon, popular artists. So there we go, Chimecho, and just basically just pulling them like that. So we go on to some trainers now. These are flipped round. Yeah, like there's not an awful lot, like basic wise, that I would pull from Sword and Shield. Anything Sun and Moon and older, I tend to list. Just kind of what, there we go, there's a Yukimori, so we'll take that. And there's an Eevee, we'll take that. So, I'm just going through, pulling out the popular Pokemon, the popular artists, and I can do this really quickly now because I've got used to it. So there we go, that's a huge stack there, and we've got these cards that are on the list. I'll show you what I'll do with them, and then it's just a case, grab the next stack, and off we go. Drillbur, perfect. So I do tend to pull a lot, but for Dynamo, I probably won't. I think I've probably got one anyone. Tomokazu will pull. So yeah, Sword and Shield is like selective. It's more selective for Scarlet and Violet. I do less. The dog's gonna bark in a minute. I can tell. I can hear him just getting ready to be annoying. So yes, I'm just literally, so there's another So there, but no, there's a Yukimori. So I tend to be a little bit more selective on, just because I don't know, sometimes it does really well, sometimes it doesn't. I think like it's got to be a Pokemon that's popular. I don't know, sometimes. I mean, I think the thing is as well, because I do have such a big backlog of stock, it doesn't make too much difference. I can be a lot more selective than say I would have been if I had like a lot of, like not a lot of stock basically. If I didn't, I've got so many cards like on backlog that I can be more selective and be like, no, I won't this time because I don't need to. But if it came to needing cards and I was struggling to get hold of some more, I'd maybe go like this Giraffe rig. I'd be like, yeah, okay. I might go, oh, I quite like that. Like, I can be a bit more, I basically just adjust it as to how I need it, essentially. So it is really tailored for me and for what I know sells. Like I know for a fact that Dedenne will sell because people like Dedenne, and it's Yukimori. There you go, it's another new Yukimori. But yeah, I'm getting through this fairly quickly. I think in this lot, all the reverse hollows are separated. And then we're into Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet, I'm even more pickier with. In general, it is really, I mean, I do popular Pokemon a fair bit, but I have a lot, so I don't feel like a Ninetales, for example. If I didn't have loads, that might be one that I pull. But like, you know, I think Pikachus and Gengars really are the only ones I pull. Maybe like in terms of like non-hollows, maybe like an Eevee here and there. But because I've got so many, I don't, and it just tends to be fairly quick to do Scarlet and Violet because there's not a lot. There are playables, like Special Red Card is playable. But again, because I've got so much, like in reality, it's not going to be uploaded anytime soon. So the point where it comes to it, it'll just like, it probably won't be as much. And you know, like, you know, I'll just pass it on to the next person. I know that I'm getting my value of it, and then the next person will get their value of it, whether they're pulling more playables or doing like bundles and things like that. Like, you know, it just, there's different ways to extract money from bulk, and this is just the way that I do it, and other people will do it differently. And that's kind of like the joy of it. I think the good thing that I have is that I have a buyer who pays the same rates as me, if not better, which basically means that I can pull my value out, and then everything else I can basically get rid of at cost. So I'm not losing money there, and sometimes make money. That's the way it is. But yeah, so they want trainers separated, which is why I do that. Not everyone does. Not everyone requires that. So it's like, you know, it's not necessary. Obviously, if you're not separating trainers, it is a lot quicker. But like, you know, this, for example, perfect card, so probably would pull that if I needed stock, but I've got so much stock that I really don't need to. So in terms of Chaos Rising, I know this is predominantly Chaos Rising, there really isn't anything non-hollow I would pull, I don't think, but you never know, and it's good. And I like sitting and flicking through cards and doing this, so it's all a win. But yeah, you know, I could pull the Ninetales and they would sell eventually. Obviously my floor price is $1.99. That's the minimum price I sell cards for on eBay, because that's kind of like to make sure that I am still getting like some profit and stuff. Obviously you've got postage and stuff in that, but that's kind of where it is. And like, you know, everything will sell eventually, but I'm in no rush to pull out stuff that isn't necessarily going to sell straight away. Like, you know, especially with Chaos Rising out, there's really not much in here. So I'm really just going through, seeing, making sure that no reverse hollows have slipped through the cracks or anything like that. Just making sure that everything here is there's not anything that's another thing. So anything that's super off center or an error card is another thing to keep an eye out. You won't necessarily come across them a lot, but there is some value in that. And yeah, it's just a case of just going through and flicking. I could pull non-hollow rares, and there was a point that I was going to, but then I got a lot of other stuff, so I don't anymore. Charmander, easy one. Talo, easy. Like, that's a Yukimori. Like, yeah, like I won't always pull like the Charmander and stuff, but no, you'd be surprised. You know, and it's very much the attitude that I have when it comes to getting a card that I need for my collection. I then really don't look at the price so much. I'm like, right, okay, this is one that I need, so I just sort of move it out. Like the Bulbasaur, I know that this is about 26p, I think, last time I checked. So I could pull that, but I'm not going to this time. So let's go reverse hollow, hollow. And yeah, this is basically just what I'm doing. I'm basically just pulling reverse hollows and just separating them out again. This is just what my buyer for bulk prefers, and also at the same time, like, it's better to do it because no one's going to complain that it has been done.
It helps just to keep things organized a bit. But yeah, again, like, you know, I'm going through this fairly quickly because in terms of Scarlet and Violet and Mega Reverse Hollows, there's not an awful lot. I mean, that special red card, that would have been one definitely that you can pull because it's playable and people like to have a reverse hollow for their decks. So I could have, but I'm not at this point. Those energies are another one that can be worth pulling if you want to. It kind of just depends where you are with stock. Like, you know, as I said, if I didn't have the backlog of stuff that I did, I'd maybe be a bit more selective. Especially as some of these arts are amazing. Like this is another reason why I love doing it, because I get to look closely at the arts when I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah, like, I don't know, I just like that Fennekin. It's a really nice Fennekin. I don't care for Fennekin, but it's just objectively a nice Fennekin. Well, you know, there's just gives you a chance to appreciate the artworks. Now, I know from having ripped this set and seen a lot of this set, I don't think there are any Yukimori or Ito artworks, which makes it easy because they would probably be the stuff that I would pull. Maybe some Tobokazu, depends. But really, the one thing that I just definitely do pull from Scarlet and Violet is 151 reverses. 151 reverses sell every single day. They're just easy. Everyone loves 151, and they're good. So I'll just always pull them. Apart from that, it's just, that is battered. There we got some Perfect Order. Tyrantrum, again, one you could pull, because if someone's doing a Dex Binder, there ain't many Tyrantrums. That Meganium, I know, is playable, I believe. Here we go, here's the Helioptile. Reverse Hollow, Yukimori. I'll pull that. But, you know, you see, I'm getting through it quite quickly, and it's really relaxing. Like, it's quite just calm and just sit and do this. Yeah, like it's just fun. Ace spec, always pull. Special hollows, I will always pull. So these Pokeball hollows, absolutely, because anyone doing a master set, Brain Alive. Again, there's a lot of playable ones here, a lot of playable trainer reverses. The one that I would definitely pull, obviously I don't think there's any white flare in here, but Hilda is extremely playable. Best Pokemon in the world. Hilda is very, very playable. I think have I sold out of Hilda now, or am I going to soon? I think I might have a couple left, but they just sell. It's like a staple for a deck, and obviously you need 2 to 4 really for your deck. So, oh look, here we go. There was a, there we go. That's nice. That's a Black Bolt Hollow. There you go. We got another Sword and Shield and a Sun and Moon reverse hollow. Lovely stuff indeed. I say I won't do this for all of us. Like I say, I will do this on streams moving forward, either like pulling bulk like this, or organising it, which I'm to show you what I'll do in a minute with the stuff that I have pulled. But yeah, it's just a case of just getting it organised, then I get it packed up, and then it goes. I mean, it's not going soon. Like, I'm probably just gonna build it up for as long as I can, because obviously postage and all that. But yeah, this is basically just the process. Got some Stellar Crown, and then some more Chaos. That's just a non-hollow. See, and this is another reason why you get into it, because if I was to sell this on, I don't think anyone's going to complain too much if I had one hollow, like non-hollow in the like reverse hollows and hollows. But If it stacks up, then you could be accused of trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes. But you know, there's the dog shaking because apparently I can't have peace and quiet at any point in life. You do it, it is a lot of work. Like, as you see, I'm 17 minutes into the record, and that's without cutting it down. It is a lot of work. It kind of depends how much time you want to pull into it. There is definitely quicker ways to make money, but you know, this has become a core part of my business now, and it's going very, very well, so why wouldn't I do it? Oh, that's tempting because that's nice. Why is the dog barking? Why? Stanley, what's up? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Go on, you're not going to go outside, you'll blow away. It is incredibly windy here. Okay, so this setup definitely isn't the best for it, but I'll just show you what I do. So pull stuff out, organise it here, and then basically put it into bags like this, bags of 50, and then they're ready to upload. So I'll show you what I do. Maybe I can tell you what, I can move that over here because we don't have Japanese today. So you've got Korean and Chinese up here. This is like special hollows, like you've got a play stamp, you've got Cosmo, Trick or Trade, reverse hollows. These are Japanese, EX and above. That's English hollows, that's English EX and above, that's Japanese hollows. So basically, yes, I'm going like, yep, you know, there's a reverse hollow, reverse hollow, reverse hollow, reverse hollow. Sometimes I would separate these out and be like, right, okay, they're special reverse hollows, but I won't. Probably put these in here, and then you go reverse hollow. I'm probably just gonna bin that one. And then these are all non-hollow, so I would just put these in the section, just checking out here. This is just an example. I'm not doing this right now, but that's what I'll do. And then when it gets to about 50, I count them up, put them in a bag, and then they're basically ready to then lift.
Okay, so that was basically the beginning to the end of how I organise all of my stock. When new stuff comes in, how I process it. There's a lot of different ways to do it. That's the way that I find works for me. And for me, organising my stock before I list it makes life so much easier. When I've got a bag of stuff that say, I know that it's 50 non-hollows, 50 hollows, 50 reverse hollows, whatever it is, just makes it so much easier when I'm uploading it. As mentioned, I will do a separate video soon on like my uploading process and things like that. That'll probably be the next video, actually. I'll do it sort of like so you can see the 3 videos, 2 or 3 videos, whatever it'll be, of like each step. So we've done the sifting, then I'll do the organising and the listing, and then I'll do packing, and that'll probably be the next 3 videos. So if you do want to see that, then please do drop a subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and stick around to see more behind the scenes from Vernova Collects.